Good morning, everybody. We have another project here. This belongs to a young friend of mine who was in a car accident. A lady ran a stop sign or a red light, hit her car right here, knocked the axle out of whack, and made the car spin around and hit a curb, and it destroyed the rim over on this side, and then it knocked the wheel over so hard that it bent one of the mounts for the stabilizer arms. Yeah, she was crab walking really hard, but the worst thing that it did, you know, and it you know, knocked the bushings out, it bent the rod. She was hit pretty hard, and the lady just runs away. Run away. Oh, I did an accident. I don't want to, you know, have any sense of personal responsibility and stay and see if the people were all right. No, let's run away. Can't stand people. I really can't. No sense of responsibility anymore. Just get one over and run. Get one over and run. See what we can do to take advantage of people. Anyway, so the worst thing that happened was the Watts bolt snapped off inside. Now I tried to drill it out, I heated it up, I tried to easy out it, will not come out. So I started to try to chowder it to get, you know, maybe one of the sides a little closer so that it would contract or something to get it out. And I've been trying and it just won't come out. I heat it and I squirt it down with penetrating lube, and no go. I spent a lot of time on this yesterday, so what I'm going to do today is take a Dremel and just kind of try to chowder out that and break it out bit by bit, I guess, and see if I can get that new Watts joint, bolt, whatever you want to call that thing. There's your Watts link right up there, and you can see right here where it had snapped off. And so we do got a new one to put in here. So I just got to unbolt it from the Watts link. But the worst thing is I got to get that out. If I can't get that out, then we got to replace the whole axle. Yeah, and we don't want to do that. I mean, car's got a few miles on it. It's a little tattered. Still runs good though, you know. It's good transportation for her. She needs to be able to get her son back and forth to school and get to the grocery store and all the other things that people need their cars for. And then irresponsible people go and smash other people's cars and don't take any responsibility for it. Can't stand it. Anyway, I'm going to start to Dremel that out, and then periodically I will show you my progress on this. Crikey. Well, what do I do? How do I get this thing out of here? I'd hate to have to put this thing back together. How I got it here was I took some ratchet straps. Let's see. Oh yeah, I went from the frame somewhere up there, and I ratchet strapped it to here, and the same from down here I ratchet strapped it with motorcycle straps, and then that way I could drive it here because it was not drivable before. And even that way it was, ooh, what's that? Ooh, the frame's bent. Look at that. Not real bad, but it is bent. Let me show you. Let me show you what I just seen. See that? Frame where it's welded is busted right there. And that could be just from, you know, getting hit right here real hard. I don't think it's bent it out of alignment or anything, but it does show how hard it got hit, that's for sure. Oh man, come on. Can I just get this out of here? Can I get a little help here? Start looking for a new rear end. This is not coming out, and I just keep making it worse. Trying. Nope, I'm done. I'm done. This is a lost cause for me. Well, here we are. Saturday morning, going to work on the 2000 Crown Vic. Last weekend, I was working on it and trying to get that broken Watts bolt out of the rear end, and of course, I effed it all up. So, I don't have the right tools, or, you know, I don't want to pull the whole rear end out to work on it, so I messed up the hole. Now it's not going to accept another Watts bolt. So I have to get this thing put back together and kind of jimmy it a little bit, make a half-ass attempt to keep the car from going side to side. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, but I need to get this thing together and out of my driveway. Yeah, so here we are. I'm going to get back on it again. So first of all, this morning I took my little pry bar, there's a small one right here, and I had to bend this back out so I can put this back on that and get this back in here. You know how it goes. And then just get all of this stuff put together, and then makeshift some sort of system to keep this thing from going side to side so I can drive it. I don't know, Tacoma's probably 22, 23 miles from here. So that's what I got to do today. Get her all put back together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I need to pull this off, because this is a little bit bent right here. And also this has got to go inside there. So I'm going to take and press that back in. I might have to do something to the back side of this little swing arm to accept this, because this kind of just slides in and falls out now that it's been beat to death. Yeah, this is going to be fun. I would really rather be doing something else. And I think this frame is bent. If you can see, this is all pushed out right here. Ooh, look at that, nice little hole in the frame right here. Makes it real strong. So this may do a little bit of crab walking, but it's going to get it back to Tacoma. So let's do this. Crikey. All right, let's fix this first. We'll get that off of there. Well, that's not too bad, actually. I mean, these are supposed to be slightly curved, but this is not in there too well. Oh, wait a minute, this is the one I'm looking at. Yeah, this is a little bit too curved. So we'll get it straightened out a little bit here. I'll match it up to that one on that side. And then I'll press that into there. Alrighty then. Okay, that's about right. It's twisted a little bit. I don't think that's going to matter too much. Alrighty. Going to have to go into this way, so let's figure out what we're going to do. Okay, that's in. So I had to straighten it out a little bit. Still got a gash right there, but it isn't going to hurt it. Get all of these, got that pushed in. Hopefully it stays in. I'm not going to tighten that up because I want to be able to move that. And the same with this one. Okay. All right. I got to get that underneath of there now. How. Not a really light unit. No. Don't do what you're doing, please. This is not going to be fun doing this by myself. Nothing ever is when you're doing it by yourself, but at least it gets done right. There ain't anybody there to fuck it up besides you, and you got nobody but yourself to blame. No! What are you doing? That is counter to what I want to happen. Shit! I'm already tired of this. Okay. I think I know what to do. All right. Thank goodness I saved header chunks from work. Down. See that? Now it wants to twist. Okay. Wrong way. Oh, I know why that hole's there. Okay. We're getting it slowly but surely. Or surely but slowly. Okay, well, now here's a problem. I may have to pull this one back out to sneak it into there. And how? Maybe I can just tap her on in. Just tap, tap, tap it in. At least now it shouldn't roll anymore. Okay, this is really bad. There it is. How to get up in there? That's what I'm looking for. There it is. There we are. Look at that. That shock is leaking its pressure out of it. Okay, well, she's somewhat in. Springs are in. A-arms are in. They're not tight. Rear sway links are on. Not tight. Shocks are on. Not tight. That strap's just holding the Watts link up out of my way. I may have to just pull that whole Watts link out because I gotta makeshift something to keep this rear end from doing this while you're driving down the road. Go around a corner, starts rubbing on your fender wells or your frame or whatever. But gotta get the drive line on, and you know how it goes. All right, let's keep working. Still don't have the sunlight. Well, let's think about this first before we start tightening up all these bolts. Let's see if this axle is somewhat centered first. Get a tape measure out. Yeah, this one is twisted. I don't know how I'm gonna untwist it. If I beat on it, it's gonna knock it out of the bushing, so let's not do that. All right, let's find a spot here. Kind of eyeball off the frame. Hopefully the frame's not bent. That's about 6.5 inches from the frame. Oh, on this side looks a lot bigger, but not by much, actually. It's only 1/2 inch this way. And that can be just adjusted out. Okay. All right, I'm going to tighten this suspension up. Tighten up the control arms and the sway bar, the shocks. And then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do about that side-to-side motion. I just need to get it back to Tacoma. I might run a cable from this frame to the other side. Well, here. I'll run a cable from that side of the frame to that lower side of the axle, and then up and then back over to keep that from wanting to move around like that. Without switching the rear end and getting a Watts. I got a new Watts bolt for it, but the hole is chowdered out now where I can't even fix it. So, thanks, Jeff. That's me. Just trying to do things in a hurry with tools unsuited for the job. Ruined it. So don't do that. Yeah, look at the oil dripping out of the shock now. Oh well. Oh, to the well. Okay, let's get this thing out of the driveway. We have other fish to fry. All right, all right. I'll turn this thing on when I figure out what I'm gonna do. All right, this is some really sketchy shit I'm about ready to pull here, but everybody's in a tight spot. Okay, so what I have here, I have cable from a dog runner that I put up a while back. I left over. That's the drop from it. So I went to the hardware store, got some turnbuckles and some cable looms and crimps or ties or whatever you want to call those things. A trumbull set is what they're called. See? Trumbull set. Anyway, that's to cut the cable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a cable from up here where the old Watts link system used to bolt up to, right here, when I took it off because it's just flopping around in there because it's all busted up. Now, let's see, maybe I can show you a little bit better from under here. Okay, so it'll go from where it bolted up over there, then I'm going to run it from there over here to this shock mount. And then the same thing from that bolt up there over to that shock mount. So it'll be like an X bracing. When you're framing, you X brace your deck. You X brace things to shear it up. So that's what, shore it up, shear it up, whatever. Anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do. Again, it's gonna go from right here to this bolt, right down there to that shock mount on the other side, and then from there to this shock mount on this side. And I think that ought to work, as long as nobody starts to try to do any drifting, off-roading, Dukes of Hazzard maneuvers, anything like that. This thing should be fine. And it's temporary because that axle needs to be replaced. But that's really all I can come up with, because we got to replace the axle. And everybody thinks they stinking got gold. How many of these freaking Crown Victorias did they make? 777 zillion of these things. But you try to go buy a rear end for them and they think they got gold, right? There's too many of these things, man. Those rear ends aren't worth much. They're just an 8.8, okay? That's all you got there, buddy, is an 8.8 out of a Crown Vic. Stop trying to pull my chain. Anyway, I mean, I can buy a whole car for 500 bucks if I wanted to drag a whole car over here and have it sit in my yard. No, I don't. And then I'll be the one responsible to get rid of the car just because I needed the rear end out of it. Oops, what happened? Anyway, I'm gonna get at it and then I'll show it to you when I'm done. Okay, this is kind of what it's gonna look like. And then it's gonna go from one side to the other with a turnbuckle. So we gotta get it up here and then over there first. And then we'll cut it to length. Now when this thing starts to lift it off of the jacks is where I'm gonna stop. So, I don't know. Can I see it? Oopsie daisy. Oopsie daisy. All right, I think it's about ready to start lifting that off. Now they're still, yeah, they're a little loose, but not exactly. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work. It's gonna be rubbing on the pumpkin, and I didn't think it was gonna do that, but that's what I get for thinking. Let's give her a try. Let's give it the old college try. Yeah. All right, we ran out of batteries. Z's. Batteries. Batteries. That was from True Lies. Batteries. I can't even see what I'm doing unless I stick my head under this axle, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Let's flip it around and see what's happening here. Oh, okay. Before I get angry, look. Oh, here's one. That's it. One. All right. I'm gonna shut this off, get this thing taken care of, because I'm gonna start screaming. Okay. I already put the wheels and tires on it. So it's mounted over here to the shock, to the brace up here, X-braced all the way to that shock over there. Now this isn't a permanent fix, it's just to get this car from one place to another. It's very temporary. The axle has to be replaced. Anyway, it'll work fine for low speed operations. Keep it off the freeway, don't do any burnouts, you know, typical stuff. Baby it till you can get another car. So I'm about ready to put the tires on this thing. All day. See, it's dark now. Dark. Stars are coming out. Worked all day on it. My stupid soft heart trying to do people favors all the time. I'm getting disgruntled about my generosity. Anyway, wheels and tires are going on. Maybe I'll make a video of this. Maybe I won't. Over here. Anyway, I'm gonna get this thing down. You guys have a good night. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm a jerk, but I make it happen.